own business? Do you know someone that owns their own business? Promote your business on Coach's Corner Network. Send us an email to coachescornerradioshow@gmail.com.
Time to understand that if you want to get something out of your life, you got to be willing to work for it. I'm talking to the one that wants to go beyond the limit. I'm talking to the one that is willing to work a little bit harder than the next man or the next woman. I'm talking to the one that's been through hell. I'm talking to the one that really wants to take it to that level that no one has ever been. When you step into that room, when you step into that environment, you got to be hungry enough to eat what is coming your way. You cannot be.
What is up, everyone? You're watching the Coach's Corner Radio Show on the Coach's Corner Radio Show Network. For everyone who's going to watch this later, please smash that subscribe button. Really trying to grow this YouTube channel and platform. So if you could please do me a huge favor, that would be amazing. Also, I want to encourage you to check out the QR code at the top of the screen. Scan that. That is all the Coach's Corner Radio Show Network links. That is vastly important. Later on throughout the show, there will be different pop-ups and different things going on about the screen. Just look into those. A donation feature will be posted here momentarily. I am trying to save up or work on getting a audio. Oh, I had the name of it earlier. It's not an audio transmitter. That's not the word. Audio interface. Therefore, because I am actually going to flip things around and I really want to make this like a radio show type of atmosphere, I want to be able to give you, the viewers, the ability to call into the show. If there's a specific topic we're talking about and you want to call in the show during the show while it's live on air, with the audio, not again transmitter, but the piece of equipment, let's put it in those terms, that will help link your phone to, or your audio to the stream so that others can hear you loud and clear with no interruption. Now, some of you might say, well, Coach, where did your camera go? Where's your image? With the location of where I'm located and where I live, internet is an issue. So to help me not be as frustrated or as worried about my mouth matching up with my audio, we are going to try to run this and see how it goes. The last few tests that I did at another location worked phenomenal. I am just unfortunate I have to live at a place where internet isn't on their first priority. Again, it has nothing to do with my family, has nothing to do with us in general. It's just the actual location. So for the most part, you're going to come here and most of the time listen to my voice of the audio of this show. But like I said, that works out perfectly for us because I want to be able to make this more or less like a radio show now, not so much as the image. But the equipment that I'm using still has the capability to talk to a live guest, bring them up on screen. I'm not going to be changing software or anything like that. So with that being said, we are going to get into today's discussion, today's topic, today's controversial conversation. Again, I expect to have controversial comments, so on and so forth, however you may look at it or want to relay that. So, for those of you that don't know, because I'm sure there's a ton of you out there right now or later on when you watch this don't know, I am 31 years old. I have what they call spastic triplegic cerebral palsy. And for those of you that don't know what that is It is a bitch. It is something that I don't wish upon anyone. Um, I necessarily can't regret having it. I did not give it to myself, obviously. There's been multiple things and ways that I can say that my birth mother abused the system as far as, government assistance and so on and so forth, and caused me to have to be born this way with this challenge. For those of you that don't know, I do not call my quote unquote disability a disability, it is called a challenge. So, like I said, unfortunately, my mother, birth mother, made me have to be born with this issue or problem or whatever you want. Thank you, Junior. I see your comment. But anyways, so again, I'm ready and willing and waiting for your comments during the show, after the show, in between the show, whatever the case may be. I know that this is going to bring a lot of controversy, but again, having this challenge and having to live with it for 31 years of my life, all I can say is a lot of you don't know. And for the ones that do know, congratulations, you know something about me that several hundred people don't know about me. Again, do I necessarily regret this situation or issue? No, absolutely not. As they say, and I know it's in different terms, but, your voice speaks a lot. Uh, and for this particular, let's just call it situation or incident, last week, I'm not, can't remember the exact date, but it was last Sunday. I went to SoFi Stadium out here in Los Angeles, California. As far as the event went, the San Diego Chargers against the Miami Dolphins was a beautiful thing. Um, Football. Who doesn't like football? For those of you that don't know, I've coached. I've been a coach for a long time now. I love doing what I do, but at the same time, I actually kind of enjoyed watching the game. But with that being said, before the game took place, there was a lot of you know, things that occurred, things that went on, things that my personal opinion. And then again, guys, when I speak on this, it's my personal situation that happened. I am not here to wish anything else on anyone. I'm not here to say, oh, my situation's worse than your situation. No, I don't know. For those of you that will come back and watch this and listen to this, and again, hopefully leave some kind of comment in the comment section after the show is concluded on the YouTube side, please feel free to do so. I will answer almost all, if not all, comments. Just be ready for a very open, blunt answer. So to get to the nitty gritty, we show up to the stadium. I think the game was at like 1:30. We show up to the stadium, like 12 noon. Now, keep in mind, again, like I said, I'm a person with a challenge, not a disability. But with that being said, when you log on to purchase a ticket with a person with a challenge or whatever, your specific section where they can quote unquote accommodate you. And again, this is going to be a very passionate conversation, a passionate discussion that we're about to have. But anyways, they are they want you to go to this designated spot or designated area, and there's about four, maybe more than four, but I saw four specific designated places for people with challenges, or for this instance, I will call it a disability because I know some people out there, no matter what, will call it a disability. Now, props on them. Props on them for SoFi or whoever designed SoFi for thinking of those who have these challenges, have these issues, have these ability problems, bring mobility devices, so on and so forth, whatever it takes to get around big stadiums and big events like that. But I will say it is a little bit, let's just call it perplexed to me when you go and purchase a ticket, and you as a person with these disabilities and or challenges um, need to purchase a ticket for $300 for this specific section. Now, granted, if you can afford the $300, great, more props to you. Now, let's say, for example, and this is the one of many things we're going to talk about. Let's say I was less fortunate than the average Joe and could not purchase. And I, by the way, did not purchase in this section. This is just what I read online. This particular section for these particular people, because again, and this is going to get very, the emotions on my sleeve are about to come out. Okay, this is extremely passionate. So let's go back to what I said. Let's say I'm not fortunate enough to have $300 in my bank account to go to a game. Okay, everything's gone up, as we all know. Gas has gone up, everything. Okay, let's say it takes me $50, $60 to get to the stadium on a tank full of gas. Number one. Number two, you want to charge me, let's say $37 for a meal. Luckily, that's a meal, not just a drink. Drink, I think, was $10 alone by itself, no meal included. But again, back to my point is that you want us to spend $300 to guarantee us a spot on this, particular area, particular platform, whatever the case may be. Now, where I'm about to get at with everyone here is the fact that, once again, like I said, what if I can't afford $300 for this specific section or seat or whatever the case may be? Number one. Number two, I understand, and I've been to baseball games, I've been to college football games, I've been to um, other events, and every particular event I've been to, I've always ran into this particular issue. Now, a lot of you probably don't know. Most of you do know. Maybe, I don't know. A lot of you are not going to know me when you watch this later. But I'm a person that walks in a device. It's called a walker. Okay? Now, granted, they have designated areas. I think at SoFi, they're called guest services. Now, when I approached somebody about, taking my walker and placing it in a room because I can't take it up on the 500 level, where is this device going to go? Because it's not in the disability section or where there's special seats for devices and other things and other equipment, whatever the case may be. I have to go to a place, of guest services. Now, keep in mind, they do say online, every other floor or every floor, there is a thing called guest services, and you can check in your devices, medical devices, walkers, wheelchairs, canes, crutches, etc., into them. All fine and dandy. But when you show up and when they tell you there's only two guest services open, one on the fourth floor and one on the sixth floor. Now you tell me, and you can do the research online. I think SoFi Stadium holds 60,000 plus people. Okay. Now, this is a rough estimate. I did not do, the solid research, and I did not go into the solid detail of how many of that percentage was people with challenges or people with disabilities. But can you imagine or just visualize this for me for a minute? Let's say there was about 400 people with challenges or disabilities or whatever, and you have two areas to handle 400 people. Okay, great. But one, you better have the staff to do it. Two, you better have the backup, because you're telling me online that, there's 8 other, guest services on each floor, 2 to a floor, and yet you only have 2 open on the floor. That's problem number 2 or 3 that we've talked about. Number 4 problem that we've talked about, when you give up your apparatus, device, walker, whatever you have, somebody has to take you to your seat. Now, when I say somebody has to take you to your seat, you have to wait for what they call a runner, or someone who comes with this little rinky-dinky wheelchair thing, and you sit in a chair and they push you. Now, when they do that, just like anywhere else, what do the people do in the crowd? And this is all about having to adapt to people, and what did I say on my post? I think earlier was the average life, or average daily life, or whatever I posted. Anyway, people gaze at you, people look at you, people want to mock you, and I'm not talking about the kids. I'm talking about grown ass, drunk ass, effing adults is what I'm talking about right now, right here. They want to look at you. They want to mock you. They want to stare you down. They want to think, oh, what happened to you? Oh, they want to question you. They want to say things under their breath. Don't get me wrong. I get that every single day. I get that going to the mall. I get that going out in public. I do. I get it. I understand it. But what if it's somebody that doesn't understand it? What if it's somebody who can't mentalize that? What if it's somebody who has a problem with being picked on, being judged, or shuts down and leaves the event because somebody looked at them and pointed their finger and called them names or whatever they said under their breath? What about that? Okay. And this is all to reach out, and hopefully one day it reaches a stadium, and they think that my story is passionate enough and they bring me on board and we can make some changes. So again, long story short, they need the personnel to be better. They need to know how to communicate this. They need to come up with a system. They need to come up with a routine. They need to train certain people, not necessarily of certain categories, but if that's what you have a passion for to do, to help the weakest, and the people that struggle, and the people that it takes hours to get places because of exhaustion. You walk miles. Your 5 miles to my 5 miles is probably triple. But that's just the way of life, and that's me bringing it to your attention as a YouTube community and as a group. But at the same time, if we don't talk about it, how are they going to know? And here's another thing that I want to bring up before I forget. So, as I said earlier, they take your device away from you. What if you get into an altercation with somebody? What if somebody pushes you down a flight of stairs? What if somebody's so drunk off their fucking ass? Excuse my language, YouTube, and you're probably going to moderate me for that, whatever. But what if somebody's drunk off their fucking ass and they bump into you and they cause a brawl? Okay? What am I supposed to do? So when I turn in my device to SoFi Stadium, I want to know. This is the answer I want to know, and I hope I get to know it someday. Does that mean SoFi becomes liable because they took my device away because they said I couldn't take it to my own seat in my own chair and enjoy the game like a regular human being? Again, I'm not here trying to talk about differences and about this or that or whatever, but this is a fact of life. This is reality that people don't want to see. Okay, this platform is going to bring you shit that the real society doesn't see. They want to avoid it. They want to, it's not a big deal. It's not this or that. Yeah, it is a fucking big deal, because you know what? I'm a person who lives it every stinking damn day. Yeah, let that settle in your brain for a second. I'm a person who lives it every single day of my life. But who on this earth, if it wasn't for just me or the other people that can't speak about it, there's several people that can't speak about it. So that's why we're here today. We're talking about this shit. And I don't care what kind of turmoil it brings. I don't care what kind of uproar it brings. I don't care what kind of negativity it brings, because I'm going to throw it right back in your face. If you don't think I will, you don't know who I am either. Okay? Anyone want to come and challenge me? Anyone want to come and say whatever they say? Let the naysayer speak, man. Let the naysayer speak. But anyway, back to the topic is this. I hope somebody can come up with a solution, even if they take part of a floor and make it all guest services. Even if they branch out and make us, and again, I don't want special treatment. I don't want the golden handshake. I don't want the, feel bad for me type of shit. No, but have a system that freaking works. have your employees practice that system. When I walk up to these, third-party security guards, and they don't even know the right from left of which way to go. And granted, I understand that stadium is huge as hell. Don't get me wrong. I totally understand that shit. But come on, people, you gotta have a system. You gotta have a program. You gotta have a practice plan. You gotta have something in place. And with these big venues, that's what they don't have. That's what they don't understand. And they wonder why us customers with these issues and these challenges get so frustrated because there's nothing in order. And I understand someone's going to come back and say, well, coach, there's nothing in order in life either. But you know what? I'm there to have fun. I'm there to have a good time. No matter if I spent the $300 or not, I still spent money to show up, bought a ticket to get there, took a tram, to get there because parking is ridiculous. Parking alone was $400 something dollars. Just to park a vehicle was $400 something dollars to park. And keep in mind, because that stadium specifically is, I think they call it an all digital stadium or all electronic stadium, excuse me. So they don't take cash. You can't give the little person like your cash to park your vehicle like you can at Disneyland or somewhere else like that. So you got to go buy everything online the night before. And, sometimes they tell you that, sometimes they don't. So not only did they take my shit away, they made me have to walk 3 blocks to get in there. Yeah, 3 blocks to get into a stadium. You get into a stadium, and when you're the average person, average size that I am, I think I'm like 5'2", 5'2.5". I'm not very tall, not very tall at all. And when you're looking in that mass amount of people, it's really shell shocking when you don't have your. And you can sit here and say it. I'll say it to you. My security blanket. My device isn't my security blanket, but my device is a thing of comfort because I've been in it for 31 years of my life. Of course, it's a thing of comfort. So I really hope that this specific episode can get out there to the people that it needs to. I really hope that that there are somebody eventually going to come down the line and listen to this shit. And again, for those that might be in here that might be a little bit sensitive, I apologize. But at the same time, I don't, because this is a fact of life. This is reality. And if you guys don't want to know what reality is, and y'all don't want to face it, then I don't know what to tell you. Oh, and by the way, really quick before we go into break here, I am gonna actually tell you another experience. So the week before, or no, it was probably 2 weeks before me traveling to SoFi to go to the football game. I actually went to a Metallica concert, and believe it or not, no offense, and here's where the difference is, guys. Here's the bad that I just talked about. Now let's talk about some good. Okay, I went to SoFi before I went to the football game for a Metallica concert about 2 weeks before. But catch this, because I know somebody that worked in that business, and I know somebody, and I have word of mouth of connections. I was lucky enough to get specialized treatment, VIP treatment. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you something. It's pretty bad when you get VIP treatment in a mosh pit. You get treated better in a mosh pit with 40,000, 60,000 people running up against you than you do in the freaking stands of a stadium in the section 500. And that's where the difference is. Yeah, I've experienced both sides. Don't get me wrong. If it wasn't for the friend or it wasn't for the connection that I had for that specific event, yeah, I would be up in those 500 stands again, watching a badass fucking concert. But because of that, because of both sides of experience, I felt safer in a mosh pit with 2,000 or 3,000 people in a mosh pit than I did up at the 500 level, because I didn't have my piece of equipment or my walker or my device or whatever you want to sit here and call it. So let that settle in for a second. Okay? I've experienced both ends of this. And that's why I'm bringing it to your attention. I'm bringing it to the community's attention. Somebody out there, SoFi might scroll across this. I might get lucky. It might get 4 shares. Somebody might catch it, and that's why we're talking about it. And that's why, again, this is the passionate side of the coach that a lot of you think you've seen and you haven't seen it just yet, and a lot of it's still going to come out. Okay, a lot of it's still going to come out. So again, if you have a comment about it, if you have something to say about it, go ahead and throw it in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and flip to a break right now. Give me a couple minutes. Let me gather my thoughts. We'll come back with a couple things, and then we will go from there. And I will talk to you guys probably about a little bit more about this or something else that I'm thinking about. So give me a minute. Here we go. Hi, welcome back. Again, I hope you had a great break. I did. Took a minute, took a swig of water, try to, regain myself a little bit. But like I said, guys, it's something that again needs to be addressed, and that's why we brought it to this platform. And this again, I just wanted to bring attention. I'm not looking for SoFi to reach out. I'm not looking, oh, treat me to something special. No, no. This is just to bring a message to something that happens to me on a consistent, regular basis. It truly does, and that's fine. We're gonna find ways around it. One thing I did not talk about earlier when I was talking about all of this, that I do want to bring it to YouTube's attention, is that Again, a lot of you don't know me. But if you do know me, you know I don't back down. And again, when I say that, it's not about proving a point. It is making it a fair situation because they wanted to immediately tell me, oh, well, this or that, or that's the best we can do. Don't tell me that's the best you can do for me when it's not satisfactual. Okay. When it's not, let's just say quote unquote fair. Okay. I was at an unfair advantage. Listen to me when I'm talking to you. I was at an unfair advantage being on the 500 floor, you wanting me to drop off my device and walk back to my seat originally. That was problem number one. Problem number two, like I said earlier, was you only had level 4 open and level 6 open. If you're gonna say online they're all open, you need to open them all. And I'm talking about guest services. Number three, you need to have more personnel who are runners or who are transporters or whoever you want to call them, your little teams over there. You need to have more people. You need every year we have an NFL season, do we not? Every year it's 1 year older. 2024 is about to come up, right? So prepare. Let's get better. We're in 2023. Football doesn't stop. Sports will not stop. Plan for it. Prepare. Get better. Do better. Do your best at getting better. Learn from it. I've learned from my experiences. Now the upper people need to learn from their experiences. Okay? If you want to call me out, I will talk to your little teams. I will help you guys come up with solutions from my point of view. I will help you guys come up with game plans. I will do the stupid game plan for you. I will put it together on a graph sheet of paper. I will have a construction worker go draw it on one of those big ass pieces of paper so you all can see it laid out for you if I have to. I have the resources to do these things, but you have to allow me in your door to freaking give you the advice. Okay? Again, I'm a person that's lived with this challenge or ability for 31 years of my life. Now, granted, the first, 6.5 years, I didn't know much about it, but I figured out real quick that I wasn't going to stop. I went through 3 levels of people, not to necessarily get what I want. And they're going to be like, oh, well, coach got what he wanted because he sat there and talked trash. I didn't talk trash. Now, I did get hot on the first 2 people. I got really hot because I did not like the result. Real quick, we'll get into it. It's like Knott's Berry Farm. It's like Knott's. Okay? Everywhere I go, amusement park, a venue, again, SoFi Stadium. There's another place called the Honda Center. There's another place called Crypto Arena, which is really called Staples Center. Everywhere I go, as far as a venue, there's always a problem. There's always an incident because they never want to satisfy people with walkers, people with what they don't. They don't. And for those that want to come back later and say, you know what, they do. No, they don't. They really, really don't. Anyway, that's really enough of that. I am going to throw something up. This is something that I want you guys to, again, look. Oh, I took that one off. I want to throw this one up. Again, this is a place where you can donate. I'm really, really trying to have people donate if they possibly can. $2, $5. I am trying to now save up for what they call an audio interface because I really want to change this kind of platform or YouTube channel type of thing for when we do not have viewable guests who want to come on camera. I really want to be able to have somebody call into the show. And for example, like I'll show you right now, I don't intend to flash this all the time, but I will. We actually have a phone number that you can call into the network. Again, if this was a topic that suited your fancy, I'll let that scroll a couple times. Again, I have complete control over that, so you're not going to be able to spam me or whatever you think you're going to do out there in the world. But again, we'll throw that off the screen just because I don't want too many people, calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning, bunch of trolls or some shit. But again, I am bringing the other portion of this QR code to you to so you can donate. Um, Again, I'm trying to really get an audio interface, because once I get the audio interface, we can do things such as call into the show. I think it'll be a lot smoother. It'll be a lot easier, especially on me, because of the network issues I currently have at my house. But within the next, I don't know, 6 months maybe or something, we're hoping to get some changes. But I do want to also conclude this, or bring closure to this, with a motivational piece that I do have. And then I have, after this little clip, I do have a few last minute things I want to say, and then I will let you guys be on your way. So take a listen.
I don't know who needs to hear this today, but if you wanted it bad enough, you would make it happen. If you really wanted to get up and work out before work, you'd do it. If you really wanted to lift and run, you'd make it happen before work, because you know when you get home, you wouldn't do it. I woke up at 4 a.m., I'm running 4 miles, and then I'm going to the gym and hitting legs. So my question for you is, do you want it bad enough?
Again, anything, like I've said in several of my other episodes, rather if it's going to a concert, rather if it's going to a football game in the NFL, which I've never been, by the way. That was a really cool experience. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to make that difference? How bad do you want to make those changes in your life? How bad do you want to make those changes for other people? That's what this world's about nowadays. So many people look at it for other things. The world's still here. You just got to know how to adapt and how to live in this world. This world is disgusting. This world is toxic. This world, it has a bunch of other things in between. You got to know how to adapt. You got to know how to overcome. I'm not talking about SoFi's experience. I'm talking about real life, real world shit. You got to know how to do it. If you don't have, again, and what does that start with? That starts with mindset. Starts with mindset. Starts with the proper leadership. Starts with the proper character. There's a bunch of things we can sit here and talk about, but that's where it starts. That's what you got to have in order to be impactful, powerful, whatever the case may be. I think just because the comments aren't flowing, and that's fine. I don't expect them to. We are going to tap this out at about 30 minutes. I'm going to run my closing clip. And again, if you guys have or would like to, please check out all the links at the top of the screen in your left-hand corner. Please check out the donation link. And thank you for coming. And let's see what next week brings. I really thank you all for being here. I hope it was a great topic. I hope it was. I tried to keep it as professional as possible, but with a little bit different type of emotion. And I really hope this can get some shares and get some likes on it. Again, guys, if you haven't, this goes for people watching now. This goes for people that aren't watching now. If you have not done so, please share this out. I got to get better about pushing myself out there. I got to get better. I got to get back on the other platform. I got to get back on TikTok. I got to start driving this shit. I just got a lot going on still. I mentally, physically, I still have a lot of shit that I'm dealing with. But thank you for those that, again, are not here now, but that will be here later, that I'm sure that are going to watch it. But we're gonna push this out. We're gonna get it on the platforms. I'm gonna probably do 2 different audio sound clips. Maybe, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'm probably gonna go take a nap, because I decided to work on something else, and I was up until 5:30 this morning. I took a cat nap at like 6 o'clock. Got up at 9 o'clock, bathed my dog, and we're still pushing. So I love your faces. I love you all. Appreciate you all for being here. I honestly, truly do. I'm gonna figure out if I can do. Where is it? There it is. I'm on a different computer, so everything's not in place. But I love you all. Appreciate you all. Thanks for being here, and we will see you next week.
time to understand that if you want to get something out of your life, you got to be willing to work for it. I'm talking to the one that wants to go beyond the limit. I'm talking to the one that is willing to work a little bit harder than the next man or the next woman. I'm talking to the one that's been through hell. I'm talking to the one that really wants to take it to that level that no one has ever been. When you step into that room, when you step into that environment, you got to be hungry enough to eat what is coming your way.